First off, Brandon and Charles, thanks a million for taking time out from such a massively busy schedule to come down here today. Because, of course, you played in Leeds last night.
Yeah.
Played in Leeds and Manchester tonight at the Deaf Institute.
Yes.
Yeah. And you've managed to drive over here today and come down and put down those 3 stonking tunes for us.
We're happy to.
All right, well, honestly, massively grateful for that, to come down to East Village Radio. So, a little bit about Crocodiles. So, San Diego based, yeah? And did you both grow up there?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah? And what was that experience like? What was it like growing up in San Diego?
It's kind of it's a pretty conservative town.
Is it, yeah?
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful town. It's a little boring, and there's not much of a counterculture. So if you were attracted to that sort of thing, you were sort of you only had a few friends,
right?
You know what I mean? So, but it's.
So, any bands before Crocodiles for the pair of you? Yeah,
loads of
tons of
bands.
bands. Yeah, we've been playing music together since we met when we were teenagers. So.
All right, and have you been writing together since then, or did you go your separate ways, or in other bands? Or?
No. Yeah, we've always been together. We're like, I think he's my life partner next to my wife,
Right, okay. Is that the first time you've heard that, Charles?
No, it comes up a lot.
Excellent. So, talking about the writing then, in terms of writing with the band, because the core of the band is yourselves, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how does the writing process work for you fellas?
We do a lot of writing on acoustics, but he'll have an idea or I'll have an idea, and we'll have like something skeletal, like a melody and a chord structure.
It's really collaborative.
Get together, and just
we just have 2 acoustic guitars and we just sort of put it together.
What about words-wise?
We both contribute.
Same thing. I mean, usually one of us will write the whole lyric to a song, but occasionally we'll split the difference, or we'll edit each other's and stuff like that for content.
Right, doesn't that get a bit personal when you're doing that?
Oh, this doesn't get much more personal than him and I. No, that sounds really kinky, doesn't it?
Of course, sounds great. Well, when I've been listening to the album, first impressions were it's got a great kind of wall of sound. Now, I think that when I've worked with people that have been kind of trying to get that kind of thing, it's not such an easy thing to do. It sounds like there's a lot of work gone into this album that's not so obvious on first listening. And the more that you listen to it, the more that you're hearing a lot more of harmonics and dynamics and things that are just kind of creeping in. It's a real creeper for me.
A lot of that was James' talent. I mean, we talked a lot about wanting sort of like krautrocky textures, cluster and harmonia and bands like that. And, he's real good at tape noise and just stuff that we don't really know how to do, And so, yeah, there was a lot of like real subtle things, and we just really lightly in the mix, you'll have like this one thing that we spent like 4 hours doing,
Yeah. I was wondering why he'd have me do like 6 guitar takes, and I'd be like, why am I doing so many guitar takes? And then I think he just has this way of layering everything, that...
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not just so obvious and just play it again and again and again and layer it. Because then it just sound like that. Because there's a lovely texture to the album that you've got, and it's something that listening to it live, you recreate it.
Try to. It's it's when we went in, we wanted to kind of achieve that teenage goal of having like the headphone record, where you can sit on your bed with a joint and like pick out different things every time. And so we can't do quite everything live that we did on the record, but we try to pick out the stuff that's most apparent, and recreate those aspects of it.
Right. Well, the B-side of Sleep Forever, California Girls and Groovers in the Heart, whose idea was that?
I don't know. I don't remember. The Beach Boys part just came in kind of randomly when we were recording it.
You started singing it, and I was like, we should do a melody or something.
Yeah.
Or do a medley, rather.
Yes.
We're that age where that song was like a massive hit when we were kids, and, it's an amazing song. I love that song still to this day. And
What, Groovers in the Heart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're just walking, and we're just like, it'd be funny if we did something like that, but really loud and nasty and...
But it's a great cover version, isn't it? The way that you've kind of... Because, of course, bands doing covers, I think it's kind of quite dangerous territory a lot of the time. Because, of course, if you're doing a cover, then it's invariably, it's a track that's very well known.
Yeah.
And, of course, because that's so kind of deep in people's psyches, that if you don't want to just cover it verbatim, so you want to kind of give your own impression. Yeah. And, of course, if it... invariably then that's a lot different from the original, and people are, it's not as good as the original, whereas I think yours is, you've just taken it and just made it your own, really, haven't you?
Cheers, yeah.
Thank you, yeah.